This is Into Beats 106.5 FM. Hello, this is Amy Botes here from PEPPED Productions. How's it all going with you? I've been taking some courageous action this week and facing my fears, sending emails to people who could potentially totally transform my business. Now, I nearly didn't. I have quite an intense inner critic at times that can really get in the way of taking action. And sometimes I just wish I was more like my 7-year-old daughter. She has an incredible attitude. And I, like many mothers, often find myself saying, "Be careful." And she comes back with the phrase, "Mummy, I don't do careful." Okay, so a little bit more about me, just in case you missed my last series on performing your way to success. I'm a professional RADA-trained actress and communication coach, and I offer training and coaching to business professionals in everything from presentation skills to personal impact in meetings to confidence building to team building. Anything to do with communication and making the most of who you are, we can help you with. And we use physical, vocal and mental exercises to literally take a person from Clark Kent to Superman. Now, if you wondered how the average person can use acting techniques to become the best possible version of themselves, you're in luck, because for the next 4 weeks, I'll be sharing my top tips on how to adapt to the given circumstances. Because after all, I believe that life is just one long improvisation, and to nick a phrase from Shakespeare, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. Going back to being courageous, I think it's often a state of mind we have to work up to, don't we? We have to psych ourselves up to take courageous action. Like bungee jumping off a bridge. You see these people psyching themselves up first, taking deep breaths, stretching and jumping up and down on the spot, and then taking a step into the abyss. Wow! So how can we artificially create that feeling of courage? Is it possible? Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of power posing. There's a great TED talk by Amy Cuddy on it, and she describes how research has shown that if you pose for a few minutes with your hands on your hips or with your hands above your head, like Superman, rooting your feet into the ground, you can literally fool the body into feeling confident. Literally posing like a superhero can make you feel like a superhero. And sometimes we do this unconsciously. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're intimidated or feeling out of your depth and you find yourself rooting your feet, putting your hands on your hips and maintaining a strong pose, literally taking a stand? Well, that is power posing. I had a very scary pitch once where I was completely out of my depth. I'd only just started my business, and although I knew I could do what they were asking of me and I had all the education, etc. behind me, I was still feeling hugely intimidated. And so I went into the toilet just before the meeting and I power posed in the toilet for a few minutes. And thank goodness they didn't have CCTV. I must have looked crazy. But it really worked. I found myself breathing more easily. I had a feeling of strength in my body and my thoughts were clear and well formed. So maybe check out the TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. If you're facing a situation where you're needing to act a head taller, try a power pose before heading into the situation. You can listen back to this segment on my website, which is www.peppedproductions.co.uk. And if you have any comments or you want to share something, please don't hesitate to follow me on Twitter at WeArePepped, and you can use the hashtag WeArePepped, that's PEPPED, or check us out on Facebook where we're listed as PEPPED Productions. This is coming from Into Beats 106.5 FM.